Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers. I'm Chris McGee. Laker Insider is Mike Bresnahan. The Laker Reporter is Mike Trudell. And fellas, it is rare that we start a show talking about something else besides Laker basketball, but it was Super Bowl week here in Los Angeles. Super Bowl Sunday delivered on many levels. Did you guys have a good time?
Awesome time. I might still be recovering, actually. I didn't even go to the game like you did.
Did you eat a lot of food?
Ate a lot of food.
Yeah.
Had a couple beverages. Yeah. It was pretty spectacular. Very happy.
Well, I'm going to cede my time to you.
Appreciate that.
If people don't know you, just go to your Instagram.
Yeah.
And find out what a good time you had. So,
good time.
Please.
Good time. I'm going to read, go to some sound, and then we're going to talk about good times.
All right, I'd like to get
we
to
start
that,
the show off congratulating our football brethren, the LA Rams, on their 23-20 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals in Super Bowl 56. It was a nail-biter to the end, but Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp connected for a touchdown pass in the final minutes, and Aaron Donald sealed the game, forcing Joe Burrow to throw an incompletion on fourth down. ESPN posting this on their Instagram after the win. New beginnings to champions. Mookie Betts, Anthony Davis, and Matthew Stafford brought titles to Los Angeles in their first season with their LA teams. I believe you did that as well. LeBron jumped in on the celebration, tweeting, "We, Dodgers, and Rams should all do a joint parade together with a live concert afterwards to end it. City of Champions, congrats once again." At practice, Frank Vogel was asked about another LA championship and if his group feels like they missed out on a parade 2 seasons ago.
We're super happy for the Rams. And Coach McVay did a great job getting his group through to the finish line and on top. I want to wish them a congrats, and I'm just happy for the fans of the city. They got to see the Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams, all win a championship.
The parade's going to be on Wednesday. Is there just always part of you that's going to be like, we should have got that? That feels a little robbed by some.
Yeah, there's a real void for me personally of not having that experience. But a lot of people missed out on a lot more things with the pandemic than that. So I try to keep the proper perspective.
I've said this many times before. I've said it on the Lake Show podcast. The Lakers, Dodgers absolutely got robbed. The city of Los Angeles, all of their fans, because that is the beauty of sports. When you win, you celebrate it properly. And especially in professional sports, the parade is a big part of that. So on some level, I know, Lakers and Dodgers are still pretty sad about that.
It's brutal. It really is. But Frank Vogel put it in nice perspective there, which was excellent. There's a lot of other things going on in the world that take priority. But, I remember you mentioned my first 2 years here. So it was the 08-09 season, then 9-10. And so we had the bus parade, and the first year going into the Coliseum.
That was crazy.
Culminating to the Coliseum. And like those two were incredible.
Yeah.
And then all of the time thinking about, the three of us were in here in the studio, right? And of course the team was in the bubble when they won. So there is a void in the heart, as Frank said, but keeping some proper perspective is nice.
Big day yesterday, Mike.
Yeah.
A guy that grew up in LA.
Yeah, I love LeBron's idea. Is there a way to somehow figure all the schedules and get all the teams together?
No.
I don't know when that would happen, but just an amazing concept in his mind to try to make this, maybe will it into existence. Geet, I was not at the game. I watched it on my TV.
Yeah.
I was, sir. You were there.
I was at the game. It was a glorious experience, one that I'll definitely take with me forever. That picture right there just simply says champs. Mike, I wanted everyone to kind of figure out who was there. Mike, I know you probably keyed right in on Kareem Rush.
First of all, I did know that was Kareem
Yeah,
Rush.
you did. A lot of people were trying to, you see Richard Jefferson, who we already know. Nobody really cares about that. My buddy Peter Kite's the tall guy in the back. He's actually the worst basketball player out of the three.
Oh, no.
But he did have an okay career.
How do you
that is in the Kroenke suite right there. Our friend Josh.
How did you decide who to add and who not to add?
So, you see Dustin Johnson in there? You see Pauline? You see the great one?
Yeah.
The greatest hockey player of all time, Wayne Gretzky, one of my childhood heroes, is in there. You probably like Kygo, the DJ.
It's hard to beat the great one.
My buddy Dougie's in there. It's
Dougie.
A lot of people are in there, guys. So I did not have a ticket in the suite. I had a ticket with RJ. We were in almost the exact same spot where we were 2 weeks ago for the Rams-Niners game. We didn't want to mess things up too much, so we went back to that same spot. another Laker tie-in. We had Luke Walton in our group. He was just one section over, so we all hung out together. He and his wife were there. It was a lot of fun. Still so popular in L.A., too. Everyone yelling Luke and wanting, pictures and everything, so that was kind of fun to see. Saw Big Shot Bob, hugged Magic afterwards. The NBA well represented. We ran into Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
We talked to Draymond Green for a little bit. So I was just having a great time. And then for all those other people that maybe, you want to know about the actors and the singers, listen, Katy Perry was in the suite. Okay, Kate Hudson was in the suite. A lot of fun up there, Mike, and we found our way there about mid-third quarter. I will say this, though. So much fun sitting in your seats at a Super Bowl. But if you've ever sat in a suite, it is such a special thing, right? The food, the drinks, the atmosphere. But when the people in the suite actually own the team in a Super Bowl, it's nerve-wracking.
Oh, it's tense, isn't it?
You know what? You know what you do? You stay in your lane. You don't get in anybody's way.
Yeah.
You don't pop off and say something dumb.
Okay.
You just cheer for your team. I was very wrapped up into what was going on. It was getting really nerve-wracking there. I thought the Bengals were actually going to win this thing for a while. I was getting panicky.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the clock. The whole game, the clock went slow. That fourth quarter, it was moving too fast. But that last drive, the no-look throw by Stafford, it was such a great moment. So that picture right there was a lot of fun because everyone just kind of gathered. And I knew, Mike, just from our experiences, you got to get in the front. You got to saddle up there. You got to sit in DJ's lap, one of the great PGA players in this country, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Trudell, we got one picture of you and the boys. Listen, you're raising them right. I know you've had a lot of heartache with your Minnesota Vikings, but you have to remember something. You and Annie are from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
You will always be true to all of your teams, but you have been here for a long time.
Yeah.
13, 14 years together. These boys, they're SoCal natives.
Yeah, they're
Mike, they're going to surf.
I know.
They're going to do great things. And you know what? Let them love their Lakers and Rams, and you do, and I love them. And Dodgers.
Look, the Lakers, that's obviously non-negotiable. Okay.
Not even.
The Dodgers, non-negotiable. With the NFL, just with not having the same history here as some other places, I want them to be able to flirt, as I mentioned in the post. And so this is a nice little heads up the Rams get by winning the Super Bowl. They get the T-shirts, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald. They obviously made the right choices. So, the Rams have a shot. I'm not completely dismissing the Chargers yet. Your childhood team, I know how you feel about them now.
Yeah, mid. It was more of a 12 years old on to about
mid-40s.
Okay. Yeah. Long time. We had a great relationship. Ended.
It's over.
Yeah, dropped out the heart of a city. Before when the Lakers lost to Celtics, and I probably should admit that because I was a little bit older. I was probably 13, 14, shouldn't be crying. But at 9 years old, I cried when the Steelers lost to Terry Bradshaw and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You probably celebrated because you're a weirdo.
I was actually
live here and love Pittsburgh teams.
Yeah, I was actually at the game.
Philly teams.
Yeah, I was in
Mike.
I was in a little Steelers jersey at that game.
Yeah,
but I actually was very happy to see the Rams win yesterday.
Yeah.
Won a little money too, so it's going to help pay for some Valentine's dinner tonight.
Yeah.
So
there's something you got to know too, Mike. Sometimes your kids don't have a choice.
That's true.
You're going to love the Lakers. You're going to hate the Celtics and the Clippers. You're going to love the Dodgers. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can choose some other teams, and they love the Rams, and
it can happen.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you had a great day, buddy.
I did, man. I was there for Prince. Laker basketball after a hard luck loss to Golden State on Saturday. The Lakers held practice after a day off for Super Bowl Sunday. The Lakers have one more game against the Jazz on Wednesday before the All-Star break. At practice, Coach Vogel was asked how he has helped players adjust to new roles and the comfort and frustration levels that come with that.
For a player to really be great at his role, he's got to feel great about it. I think guys can have success in roles that they may not feel good about, but for them to be at their best or to carry out whatever role it is, whether the bench player, star player, doesn't matter. Feeling good about it is a key ingredient in having that ultimate success.
What are the things that you see from some of the veterans on this team that make it possible to still believe in the potential of this season?
Yeah, just the way they conduct themselves. On and off the floor. Things haven't went the way we've wanted them to go so far, but nobody's checked out. Nobody's like, screw this. We'll just focus on next year or whatever. It's still in the moment and really just trying to figure out what we can do to be successful. And we got, like you said, vets that have done this for a long time, and they know what it takes, and they know that we have what it takes to take that next step. But it's really just figuring it out, putting it all together, and in my opinion, it starts with the energy we had in the Golden State game, and just moving forward in that aspect.
All right, we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from the Lakers' Saturday loss to the Warriors. You hear the music? Very nice right there. You get that? It's an old Western kind of theme we're doing here. Let's start with the good. Russell Westbrook and the role players. Reeves, THT, Monk, they looked good.
Yeah, obviously impressed with the role players, but I think the rest of the season is going to be a lot about Russ, as most of the season already has been. Really liked what he did around the basket. We've talked a lot in the last few weeks. He's not been finishing real well, whether it's layups or little flips, little floaters in the lane. I thought he got over that yesterday, or 2 days ago now. Played really well in that restricted area. Impressed by his game for sure. Good rebounding too. Can't forget, sometimes he gets those big rebounds, and I thought he was spot on the other day.
So Russ, to me, on this team, and I think the original idea was that he was going to be that third guy supporting what LeBron and AD do. And since either LeBron or AD has been out for almost the entire season, he has had to go up into that either 1 or 2 role, which I think is not as effective or efficient for him at this point of his career. But I thought he really did that well, that kind of third support spot where he wasn't necessarily initiating a ton of the offense, but when he was attacking. Other than that, he was focused more on defense than he's been at other times. So he was part of that group. And like when you lose a game because your 2 stars aren't hitting their shots late, that's fine. That is not what we've been seeing for the last couple of weeks. So that does give a ray of hope there when all the other role players played pretty well.
You led me right to the bad. LeBron James and Anthony Davis struggle from the field, but also, Brez, struggled big time down the stretch, whether it was a costly turnover, both missed some bunnies.
Yeah, and that's just the surprising part, obviously. These two get a pass for obvious reasons because of what they've done the last couple of years. It's not like them to struggle like that in key moments. And some of that was just weirdness. Weird drops, weird bounces, that rebound that went right by AD's head towards the end there. Just a strange deflection off the rim there. It's going to happen from time to time, but hey, what can you say? You can't dwell on that too much. I'd rather dwell on the ugly, which I think is right around the corner.
Do you remember the Ireland weird package from back in the day?
100%.
It's great.
Weird
Great
game.
times. Weird game.
Yeah.
Great times. Oh, man. So this one, I'm not going to spend too, I just don't think this is that important. Like LeBron isn't going to miss a ton of layups very often.
It's just too bad.
It's too bad. But here's what I will say. I think that you want AD to take more shots, to be more aggressive, and to not settle for those jump shots. And we've said that at various points, but he was terrific on defense in that game. And so I don't want that to get lost, but I don't think Frank Vogel or LeBron or Russ or anybody would be mad if AD just said, all right, you know what? I'm going to cook a little bit more. I'm going right past Kevon Looney and going to go score at the rim.
Yeah, he had only 11 shots in that previous game, too, not shooting a lot.
Like we said, LeBron's not going to go 1 for 10 in the fourth quarter.
No, it's not going
to. Every night. So, all right, the ugly. Got to get to the ugly, and there's a reason Brad Turner's not here today because he's very upset. We actually had to give Allie the day off because this really upset her on Saturday.
What this is. I'm waiting
Poor
for this.
free throw shooting continues to haunt this team. Michael, can you win a tough playoff series not being a good free throw shooting team? What are they, 29th in the league, Mike?
29th. Yeah, it's been that way for a while. We started talking about it a few weeks ago, and yeah, Mike, it's going to make the job a lot harder if you're close down the stretch. What the Lakers missed 8 or 9 free throws the other night, and that's becoming a pattern every game. I feel like you look at the box score afterwards, and they're 12 for 20. And it's just, it's rough. I mean, there's a reason Frank Vogel, after practice today, made everyone shoot 25 free throws. You had to make 25 before you could walk off that court. It's weird. It's not like a skill you can really practice. Yeah, weird game. Weird concept.
Weird skill. You should make them.
Just maybe still think of Ireland. So I'm actually not as concerned about this as most people seem to be. The Lakers weren't a very good free throw shooting team when they won the title either.
Yeah, they're just a much better team.
Well, yes. And LeBron and AD are not great free throw shooters. They never have been. Those are their 2 best players. Those are the guys that get to the free throw line the most. Russell Westbrook is not a great free throw shooter. So those things aren't going to change, guys. Now, yes, I see I was there for the press conference and Frank Vogel having them make free throws. Can you get better if you practice more? Yeah, but like it's not like these guys don't practice free throws. Okay, breaking news, they all have practiced a lot of free throws.
Breaking news, they've shot a lot of free throws in their lives, Mike.
Like it's just my thing is if they play defensively, that like the way they played overall, effort, energy, defense, rotations, all that stuff is so much more important. Will they get hurt and lose the game with their free throw shooting? Maybe. But that's lower on the priorities of what they have to focus on.
Yeah, free throws to me are like special teams in the NFL. You know, you have more important things you have to worry about, like, you know, the Laker offense, the Laker defense, like you just mentioned. Free throws are a part of it, but not the biggest part. But definitely the ugly.
Underrated it a little bit, but I'm going to go with you. I'm okay with it. I'm just saying.
But they didn't